Herzlich willkommen zu Women Hit Harder, the Female Power Podcast.
Welcome to Women Hit Harder, the Female Power Podcast. I'm your host, Julia Dorny, and we are kicking off episode 51 with the true force of nature in the combat sports world. So my guest today is someone who has redefined what it means to fight for survival, success, and legacy. Dhafir, Dada 5000 Harris. Dada, welcome to the show. Let's hit it hard and get real.
Yes, Julia. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and I'm just excited. I'm excited for the moment. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for, combat sports and where it's heading. And I'm, really stoked, as a spokesman, as an ambassador, for the movement and for the culture.
See, this is what I love about you from day one. Known for your raw power and real talk, your journey, you pretty much started, with street fights and only later got into the professional arena. And now you're also a promoter and nothing but inspiring. Tell us why you started on the streets and why you only made your MMA or fighting debut so late in an actual professional environment.
Okay, well, great question. That's why you're one of the best to ever do it. I feel like this, being a product of my environment, coming from where I come from, I understand. I see things from a different scope, because I'm so close, I'm hands-on. I knew what the individuals in my community had, and I knew what they did not have. And I was surrounding myself around good people, but they were limited, with their options, because most folks, let's just face it, most folks have problems, but not everybody have problem-solving skills. And when you are a product of your environment and you don't have the tools to be successful, 9 times out of 10, you can always come up short, right? So these are good individuals that I'm like, yo, this dude is, making bad decisions because a bad idea sounds like a good idea, Julia, when a bad idea is the only idea, So I'm like, yo, most of these individuals, they don't got skills. They don't got trades, they don't got education, they don't got good mentorship. And it ain't just get like that. It's been like that since they were small, but they do got a heart, they do got a strong will. And if you give them alternative outlets, they will at least explore those. So now you got 2 strikes against you. So now you're working on your third. So creative minds never take a day off. So in the backyard was formulated for many, many, many different reasons. We stopped a lot of would-be, situations from never becoming a thing. So we've settled gang beefs, individuals, everybody that was back there, they were back there for a specific reason. Some individuals say, hey, listen, I really feel like I got what it takes to be the best. Others felt like, hey, I'm trying to prove something to myself. I still got it. Other individuals, hey, I need some money, and this is what I know I can do best. So everybody's story was unique and it was different, but it was entertaining and it was educational. Everybody had a reason why they was back there, and I just created a platform to give them, an outlet to stand and showcase their talents and skills on and shine.
Very cool. So, you were 32 years old when you had your first MMA fight, and by many standards, it's considered, which I hate, I'm sorry, it's just what the society says, kind of old. But what inspired you to actually put all your skills to a, professional environment?
I'm gonna tell you, Julia, when I was in the backyard, because you're right, all of us got into the game late. Not just myself. Kimbo, he was in his 30s when he got into the game. But, we just built different. Come from a small place in Miami called Paran. There's only 15 blocks, population of maybe 800-900 people, if that, But I was working out all my life. I was extremely strong, lifting 500-600 pounds in the backyard. And I was so destructive, ripping telephone books in half. And I didn't really understand my purpose, right? But I kept going hard. I kept training like next week was going to be the fight of my life. And I didn't have a fight in sight. So once I got the opportunity to go pro, it started it started making real sense. And I really felt like, a lot of people did not understand, me because I was ahead of my time. The things that I was doing inside of the backyard was ahead of my time. That's why people couldn't grasp it. And people look at, the sport now and they say, hey, listen, this thing, is so this, is so that. It's like, hey, I've been doing this for over a decade on top. ESPN, National Geographic, NBC, 2 Emmy nominations, Rolling Stones, Netflix documentary. I mean, listen, we really changed the landscape, of Bare-Knuckle, and changed the trajectory, not just, from our standpoint, but from how the world look at extreme reality. We redefined the definition, and I think that, nobody has done what we've done down here in Miami, and when you look at it, I didn't create Bare-Knuckle anything, right? This stuff been around since the Roman Coliseum days, since the Roman gladiators, used to duke it out for the kings and sometimes to the death with other warriors and other animals. So what I did, I played the innovative role, right? I took something that been in existence, I altered its appearance, I dressed it up, I made it catchy for the eyes of the people of the 20th century, and it was like going fishing. I recast my line and hook, and I caught the world's attention, and at the end of the day, it's like I've gained more notoriety. I've educated the culture, on bare knuckle fighting, gained more attention than anybody the past 150, 200 years, before me. And the proof is in the pudding. This is just not me saying this. When you look at the numbers on Netflix, stayed on Netflix #1 for months, got over 1.8 billion views before it was taken down to be revised, to be released with a new round 2 later this year. So when people see, like what we've done, I mean, it's almost like it's a rerun watching other individuals, just take what we've done and try to claim it for their own. But I'm glad that I had an opportunity to play a pivotal part, and put my name inside the history books for all times.
I was gonna say, so we go into this Bare-Knuckle and BYB a little bit later, because we have to talk about you, Bellator 149, and Kimbo Slice a little bit. So obviously this was one of the most talked fights, you and Kimbo Slice, coming together from this area in Miami. Let's hear that story.
Well, it's so interesting because you have 2 guys that were not MMA fighters, 2 guys that was not really good on the ground. We didn't eat, live, breathe, and sleep this sport. But because, one, this was something that was never seen or done before. When Kimbo Slice first came out, nobody on the planet was hotter than him. He took the road less traveled, right? I came out right behind him and I created a league. So this is like when 2 worlds collide, right? And to get an opportunity to go to a platform like Bellator, I mean, for me, I was in way over my head. I'll say that, out the gate, because I've never been on a platform so massive, but I feel I handled the press, the build up well, because I've had years of practice in the backyard. I feel like really it was one-sided, even on the press, when they done the Spike TV special, he was the A side, I was the B side. And he was the guy. I made it clear I'm one and done. Once I beat this guy up, I'm gonna go back, to Miami and continue doing what I'm doing. I'm not interested in doing it any further. And I had to fight my way through, certain interviews that was clearly, one-sided, but I made the best of it. I would tell you things inside this interview that people don't know, and that is this. When you talk about that fight, I had every tool to win. I was bigger, I was stronger, I was smarter. Yes, he had the skills, he had the experience, but he was also damaged. He had a lot of miles on him. So I was going to take full advantage of that. I knew he didn't like to get kicked. So as you see in that first opening, I just kicked at him a little bit. That was just to create some distance so he know, hey, this dude, will kick. So I could have set up what I really wanted to do. And at the end of the day, it's like this. When you have a lot of money on the line, not only was that the highest viewed ever in Bellator history, I believe to date, as far as, ratings, etc., and gate. I feel like, when you have that much money and you have Vegas betting, anything can go left, and you can research this. I had 4 guys go to Vegas and they put $6 million, in on me. And I think that when that happened, I wasn't prepared for that type of shift, because instantly Dada 5000 becomes the favorite inside that fight.
I was going to say it's very interesting, because how you speak about it sounds like you won, but in fact this fight is ruled out as a no contest because of a, I guess, positive drug test on Slice's side, which is really unfortunate.
Well, these are things, Julia, that been going on. This time he just got caught. What about the other times that he didn't get caught? Listen, and you as an athlete, right?
Yeah.
It's a good possibility that, the person who's standing opposite the octagon from you just may be on PEDs.
What is PED?
PEDs, performance enhancement drugs.
Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry. I just thought it was a special name for something. Yeah, but yeah, performance enhancing drugs. Yeah, you got you.
So that's just something that hopefully not. But again, inside this game, everyone wants that thing that's going to give them that edge, and after the fight, millions of people will watch the fight. But how many people is going to watch, hey, this person was caught using not that many, So it's like, I never forget, Mayweather didn't want to fight Pacquiao. He's like, I know this guy's on drugs. I'm not trying to fight nobody on steroids. But even on steroids, right, I still should have won that fight, hands down, because he would have just been getting his level of strength up, not even equal, still under where mine's was. There's a lot of things, and I want all you guys, fans that's watching this, to check out Dogfight Round 2 later this year, where Billy Corbin went back. He interviewed all of the doctors, that worked on me that night, and so forth like that. It's going to be very educational, very informative documentary. A revised Dogfight Round 1 and an all-new Round 2 coming out this year, and I can't wait. I want the fans, to see it. And this right here is why we're number 1 in this space, of being creative minds and individuals that, and I got to say this, where I'm from, where none of us is from, is more tougher than other places. The difference is that we document it, we record it, and we report it on it. So when people see this type of stuff, they can identify with it. And with the Bellator thing, yeah, Kimbo Slice tested positive, for all type of stuff, elevated levels of testosterone, you name it. But here's the truth of the matter. If you don't research that, you would not know that, right? It wasn't publicized, but if I would have gotten caught taking drugs, they would have blasted me all over the place. Oh, Dada, you're a cheater. Dada, you're scum of the earth. Dada, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, most of the people feel like, hey, you don't deserve to be there anyway because you didn't pay your dues. You didn't go through this. You didn't go through that. And it was the same thing with him. A lot of folks, they didn't feel like he deserved to be there. And right or wrong, that's their opinion, But at the end of the day, it's like systems were created. People take the road less traveled. Harriet Tubman. There's only one Harriet Tubman. There's only one Sojourner Truth. There's only one Frederick Douglass. There's only one Martin Luther King. It don't matter if anybody duplicate or reenact what they did. There's only one. There's only one Dada 5000. I got laws that have been implemented into statute because of what I did in the backyard. Julia, they didn't have a solution for me because no one has ever seen what I've done to the likes that I did it. It was always underground, and this is gonna tie right back into the Bellator. It was all underground. Bare-knuckle fighting was secret society type thing, invite only, or hush hush, or messenger, and everybody come together, and it's not televised, you know what I'm saying? It's not promoted. It's none of that. So this is what everybody always knew of it to be. In the backyards, in the woods, in the bottom basements of hotels, stuff like that. So when I came out on a public level, you know what I'm saying, I turned the game upside down on its head, and it was offered to anyone who dare come in. You know what I'm saying? You want to come on down, and people couldn't believe it. That's why it was so dope, because we got corporate America to trade in their suits and ties for baseball hats and tennis shoes. So Dada 5000's name got here. It didn't matter if I didn't, have the training like everybody else, because it's no different than what Jake Paul is doing now.
Right,
but
I see that.
Way back then. So Jake is in the ring with Mike. Jake is in the ring with all these decorated people, but he have the name. So now it's the business, what I was telling you earlier. Yeah. It's the business. It says sports and entertainment. Now it's entertainment and sports, because you don't have to be a legit athlete, to get into the game now,
You just have to know how to sell yourself and how to carry yourself, huh?
Exactly, because it's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Dada, let's go to this topic that you already mentioned, and obviously we crossed it several times now. Bare-Knuckle and BYB Extreme. You're wearing your shirt. This is how I know you as well. So after your retirement from MMA, you obviously didn't step away from the sport. You co-founded BYB Extreme. Tell us a little bit about your vision and the background between this promotion, especially with the triangle.
Again, it goes back to creative minds never taking a day off. And the hairstyle I know I need to get my hair cut, but it's like upside down triangles, right? So all of this was by design, right? So when a person look at my hairstyle and they see upside down triangles, it's like, oh, look at that dude with that weird hairstyle. But if I put them right side up, look at that dude with triangles inside of his hair, right? So I had the blueprint hiding in broad daylight, in plain sight, right here. And I was walking around and nobody could have figured it out. So I'm a student of the game, a master, of the culture. So me, at the end of the day, I said, hey, listen, we got something here. So once I got hit with that cease and desist in the backyard, because I was on my way to becoming a very rich man in the backyard, and they weren't gonna let that happen. So they shut me down, and that was the best thing that they could have done, because I joined forces with my brother from another mother, Mike Vasquez. Mike Vasquez, he's a businessman. He started NASCAR Diversity, in Mexico, amongst other many, many things that he's, known for doing, and we sat down, we put it together, we took it was raw, we formatted it, we got a lot of things, copyright, protected, patented, and stuff like that. And once we got those things, buttoned up, we put the mighty Trigon together, right? Which is the most dominant fighting form known to man. This thing, it has a 98% knockout ratio. So when you look at it, it's the triangle, the trigon. You have shapes, you have circumferences, right? You have spheres, you have, the octagon, you have, the pentagon, you have the heptagon, you got the nanogon, you don't have a trigon, but you got a triangle, you got a square, you got a circle, you got a rectangle. So with me, again, I'm a creator and I'm an innovator. So I didn't want to come out and utilize the boxing ring or utilize the octagon because it's being done by other individuals. So how could I, carve out a niche? How could I turn the game on its head? How could I be a fresh breath of air to combat sports? I had to be very intentional about, what I wanted to do. So on Nat Geo, we utilized the Trigon for the first time, broke history worldwide. So now it's only two organizations that own their own patent. That's UFC and BYB, right? So once I sat down with Mike Vasquez, we put it together. And then we started, reaching out to the biggest and the baddest and the best on the planet. So we secured Mike Goldberg, the partner of Joe Rogan for over 19 years with the UFC. We got Mike Goldberg, on as the lead commentator. We got the first Hispanic mainstream, commentator, in Claudia Trejos. We have Benny Ricardo, seen the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight, the ring announcer, Big Mo, we have Big Mo. We got two-time boxing world champion, Paulie Malignaggi. You know what I'm saying? We have a star-studded roster for commentary, and we have the biggest fighter roster in the world. We have no other promotion have more fighters signed unto them than BYB, Extreme. And
how many fighters do you have signed?
Oh, wow. We have tons. We have like easily over close to 1,000, we deal with over 2,700. We have the largest roster because we're worldwide. So we're looking at, all of the athletes because we are BYB Europe. So I'll be in Cardiff. I leave Wednesday night, right? For February the 1st. So we have fighters in different countries. That's what makes up, this enormous roster. We have fighters from all over the world assigned. That's why we do many, many events. Because
how many events do you do per month?
Oh, wow. 2, no less than 2. Some months this year, we probably will do, 3. Like we do this on the 1st, we'll be in Cardiff. On the 22nd, we'll be in Colorado, So, and here's the thing, and we have other shows that will be going on that's under the BYB umbrella. So those shows will take a skeleton crew, maybe like 4 or 5 individuals, but it's still our show,
right?
That we're promoting, So, listen, a lot of folks, they have no idea what's coming their way. We're real, we're raw, we're authentic. You can't mention bare-knuckle fighting nowhere in the world if Dada 5000 or BYB Extreme is not inside your opening sentence. And I'm again, I'm just fortunate to be able to contribute, to the evolution of combat sports, globally, and it all started inside of a small backyard in Miami-Dade County. And I gave the people visiting Miami something else to look forward to other than a South Beach. Everybody want to come down and they want to find, hey, is this the place where Dogfight was filmed? Which I have content on that as well.
Dada, I have to ask you a little bit, because we only have like 10 minutes left at this point, because your story is obviously long and inspiring and you have a lot to say, but I have to guide us here a little bit. So let's talk about a fighter's mindset. From your time in backyard fights to Bellator, MMA, and BYB, you've seen it from like every angle, also being a promoter, announcer. So what do you think separates a great fighter from a good one, both physically and mentally?
Mindset. One's mindset. Knowing what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing, if you have it within your heart, you have it within your mind, right? This is something that you want to do. No one has to motivate you. You're going to get up, you're going to get out, you're going to get the wheels turning. And that's when you'll see other individuals gravitate, towards you. Some folks, they feel like, hey, I'm going to do this because it's cool. Those are the ones that get out there and get hurt because they're not passionate about it. They're not up the late nights training. They're not up the early mornings running, getting the road work in. You could tell the difference by what they do, not what they say.
I see it. Interesting. Good. Hey, look, also I have You probably have never been asked that question, so this is so special about Women Hit Harder as well, because we always ask questions nobody ever asked. So obviously you are in a sport or sports world where everything focuses on strength, aggression, toughness. But what's something you have learned about vulnerability and or emotion through your journey in combat sport?
Wow. Fighting is an emotional sport. That's where your team, TEAM, together everyone achieves more. Because no matter how good you are as an individual, you will not reach the pinnacle, you know what I'm saying, of your greatness if you don't have the team around you, you know what I'm saying, to keep you focused, to keep you grounded, to keep you in a position to not buy your own headlines. They're about you. They're not for you. Don't believe everything that they write in the papers about you. Because once we start doing that, we fail to continue to be the person that they write about, right? And that's why when you talk about emotional, so forth like that, I feel like the people around you, will play a very, very big part in your success, keeping your emotions and your feelings and, just keeping you focused on your journey. 100%.
In German, we say Team, toll, ein anderer macht's. You have no idea what I'm talking about, but all my German folks who are listening, they're gonna probably laugh right now. And also, I really need to know, and I'm sure most of our listeners and watching people are probably curious about that too. So behind the scenes, you are, Dada, you're just connected to strength and toughness. But what's something about you that people would have never guessed?
That I'm really a funny guy when the cameras is off. I'm really a loving, generous person, and that's why I've gotten so far, that I do bare knuckle fighting, but I have 3 degrees. I have an Associate's of Arts in Education. I have an Associate's of Science in Business Administration. I have a Bachelor's of Science with a major in pre-K primary education, and again, I believed in myself. The last job I had was in 2005. I graduated from Barry University that year. I also graduated from the corrections department that year, and I never went back, right? So it's like, for me, I believed in me that much that I'm gonna make this work, right? And trust you me, you're gonna hear all type of things to try to get you, to jump ship and abandon, your beliefs. But I stuck to it. And now, look, I had a vision. This is what people don't know. I had a vision, you know what I'm saying, that most people, could not see back then. Now today, it's everybody's reality.
Fair enough. Fair point. 100%. Dada, also, I wanted to know, obviously you've been around for quite a bit. I mean, you are born in 1977, which most people don't know. So obviously you had a lot of learnings in your life. But what was your most recent key learning that you might want to share with the community here?
My key learning is this, stay humble. And when I say humble, no, let me retract that, because the definition of humble is to downplay your success, is to downplay who you are as a person to make others feel good about themselves, right? So I refrain from using that word as much as I can. But is to know who you are as an individual, right? To be a student of your craft, master it, own it, never let a person tell you what you cannot do. Never let a person put their limitations on you. If you have a vision, if you have a dream, God gave it to you. It's yours. You can explain it to other individuals. They may not get it, and that's okay. It's not for them to get. It's for them to see. God gave it to you. You execute it. You make them into a believer, because a lot of individuals, have to be told what to do. And most posts, you write what you write, and you say, hey, make sure you like, comment, share, go to the YouTube and subscribe. You have to tell people. That's why we have life coaches. That's why we have life coaches. That's why we have, motivational speakers. They have to tell you, get up and go out and do something with your life. Don't just, and it's crazy because 80% of the world need to be told what to do. Be the 20% that impacts the other 80%.
That guide others, yeah.
That 100%. And it starts with you. And if you're under the sound of my voice, you have everything that you need to be successful. God gave you everything that you need to be successful. Identify what those tools are, put them to use, change the trajectory, not just change, be the change that you want other individuals to see. And that's what we're doing over here, inspiring the youth. We all have a journey, right? And the journey is more important than the destination, because the journey is where individuals are inspired and motivated to be the best version of themselves.
Well, with that being said, I mean, there couldn't be a better end to that story, our podcast. I really appreciate that you came on, Dada. And I hope we'll get together soon. And I hope that a lot of people will watch us, hear us, and, get inspired. And, as you said, it's your life. Push through. God gave you this gift, and you just have to put it together and see it and make it work, because it's your life and it's your gift.
100%. Thank you for having me. Listen to everybody that's out there, all the fans and followers on your page. Follow BYB Extreme, on all social media platforms. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to stay abreast on all of the events that you may miss. Follow Dada 5000, the Real Dada 5000. Subscribe to the Real Dada 5000 YouTube channel, as I'm going to start, and I'll close out with this. I have footage.
You have 10 seconds.
Okay. I have footage that the world has never seen before. We're going to start dropping them once every week from now on.
Thank you so much, Real Dada 5000. Have a blessed day. Take care.
Yes,
Bye.
yes.
So, ihr Lieben, das war's für heute. Falls ihr Fragen oder Ideen habt, Anregungen, dann sendet mir doch gerne eine E-Mail an info@womenhitharder.com. Ansonsten bis in 2 Wochen zur nächsten Folge von Women Hit Harder. Bis dahin, bleibt gesund. Eure Julia.